research note from Tourism Economics, which is part of Oxford Economics, says international arrivals to the U.S. are expected to fall about 9% this year.
In 2025, America is facing a quiet economic emergency and hardly anyone is talking about it. International tourism, once a major engine of growth and global influence, is collapsing.
The U.S. is tracking a big drop in tourism from around the world. Take a look at this. Travel from Canada and Mexico was down double digits in March.
From empty hotel rooms in Times Square to shuttered souvenir shops in California, the signs are everywhere. The data is alarming. The fallout is real.
Tourists expected to fall $8.5 billion this year.
And if things don't change soon, the U.S. could lose its standing as a top travel destination for years to come. Let's break down what's happening chapter by chapter to expose the full scope of this hidden tourism crisis.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media.
Why tourists are avoiding America in 2025. The United States has had its lowest levels of tourism in almost 2 decades. Nearly 80 million foreign tourists visited the United States in 2019. That figure has decreased by almost half by 2025. Experts suggest that this 5-year decreasing trend, rather than merely a seasonal drop, is indicative of more serious issues with the country's policies and image. America's position on the world travel map is declining as other countries are being chosen. There are fewer and fewer foreign visitors to once crowded destinations like Times Square, Hollywood Boulevard, and the Las Vegas Strip. On once well-traveled transatlantic and trans-Pacific routes, airlines report vacant seats. Global market share has drastically changed in favor of locations that recovered more quickly, simplified their entrance procedures, and presented a more inviting image, according to the U.S. Travel Association. This decline poses a serious danger to the economy, and isn't simply about fewer pictures at the Grand Canyon or less traffic in Manhattan. If not handled right now, the decline in tourism might have long-term effects on the American economy, costing billions of dollars in lost income and putting pressure on sectors like hospitality, transportation, and entertainment. What's really driving tourists away? For many foreign visitors, the process of seeking to enter the United States has become expensive and tedious. People in nations like Brazil, South Africa, and India have to wait anywhere from 9 to 18 months to be scheduled for a simple tourist visa. The delay alone is enough to cause passengers who are trying to arrange a vacation or attend a conference to alter their plans, and many do. However, bureaucracy isn't the only thing alienating individuals. The idea that America is a dangerous country has spread quickly. Mass shootings, civic disturbances, and erratic episodes in American cities are still being covered by international media. These anxieties affect judgment regardless of how accurate they are. Countries that feel safer, more stable, and less politically heated are the ones that tourists are picking since they are less likely to face danger or controversy there. In addition, the price of traveling to the United States has increased dramatically. Transportation prices, meal bills, and accommodation charges have skyrocketed due to inflation. Travelers may enjoy greater service, less stress, and more peace of mind when spending a week in Europe or Southeast Asia for the same price. The message is clear. Many foreign tourists no longer find the United States to be worth the cost. Industry leaders sound the alarm. This is a national economic emergency. Tourism is a huge pillar of the American economy and isn't just about vacations. From tour guides and hotel employees to airline employees and small company owners, more than 9 million jobs are directly or indirectly related to tourism. However, such positions are being lost at a startling rate in 2025. Leaders in a variety of industries are referring to the current state of affairs as a national economic emergency. National tourist organizations, airline CEOs, and executives from large hotel chains have all publicly demanded that the government act immediately. Their requests are straightforward: improve the visa system, boost infrastructure and safety, and repair America's reputation abroad. The United States might permanently lose $1 trillion business if these adjustments are not made. Numerous states that formerly benefited greatly from tourism are currently experiencing financial shortfalls and public service cutbacks. Particularly at risk are local economies in towns and cities that rely heavily on tourism. In cities like Honolulu, Orlando, and Las Vegas, tourism money sustain whole neighborhoods in addition to upscale resorts. Slower economy, fewer employment, and reduced spending are all consequences of fewer tourists. Real people and livelihoods across the country are being impacted by the ripple effect. which extends well beyond airports and theme parks. How the U.S. tourism industry crumbled in just 3 years. The United States was going through a tourism boom not long ago. It was one of the most popular travel destinations in the world in 2019, attracting tourists from all continents with a blend of entertainment, culture, and famous sites. Theme parks were full, cities were prospering, and airlines were adding new routes to accommodate the increasing demand. Everything changed when the pandemic struck. The United States trailed behind other nations that rebuilt rapidly, with simplified admission rules and marketing initiatives to attract visitors. Consulates continued to be undermanned. The backlog of visas skyrocketed. Additionally, the public's messaging on travel, admittance, and safety was, at best, erratic. The United States watched while other countries regained their tourists, rather than recovering with the rest of the globe. The figures by 2025 spoke for themselves. The tourism industry had sunk, not recovered. According to industry insiders, there is a widening gap between how America views itself and how it is seen internationally, a failure to adapt, and a lack of political urgency. What started off as a little lull became a complete breakdown. Airports and hotels empty. There are indications everywhere. Hotels are lowering prices to fill rooms, and major airports are running below capacity. International arrivals have dramatically decreased at LAX in Los Angeles and JFK in New York. Due to poor demand, some international airlines have completely discontinued flights to the United States, and airline routes have been shortened. For what were once some of the world's busiest travel hubs, it's a concerning sight. The situation for hotels is no better. On average, occupancy rates have decreased by 25 to 40% in places such as San Francisco, Miami, and Chicago. While mid-range hotels are laying off employees, luxury companies are giving steep discounts. Employees in the hospitality industry, including housekeepers, concierge services, and bellhops, are losing their jobs or having their hours reduced. Whole ecosystems are impacted by this downturn, not just hotel owners and airline CEOs. Tourists are essential to the survival of local eateries, tour operators, rideshare drivers, and entertainment venues. Since foreign visitors have left, many of these enterprises are struggling to survive. What went so wrong? The United States was a mainstay in international travel agency catalogs for many years. Each year, group trips to the Grand Canyon, California, and New York sold out. However, international travel firms are discreetly eliminating U.S. locations off their 2025 itineraries. Why? Demand is no longer there. Demand. According to agents in nations like Brazil, Germany, and Japan, their customers no longer request visits to the United States. The causes are similar to the larger crisis: exorbitant costs, concerns about safety, difficulties in obtaining visas, and a widespread belief that traveling to the United States is no longer worthwhile. Even instructional tours and field trips have decreased as schools choose more secure and hospitable locations. Bookings are not the only thing lost when agencies go. Hotels, bus companies, museums, and other local U.S. businesses that depended on foreign tour partnerships are currently having difficulty generating new revenue. It is more difficult for America to attract tourists back if it does not have such international links. Small towns and national parks feel the pain of vanishing visitors. Rural America has not been exempt from the tourism problem. The effects have actually been harsher for a large number of small towns and gateway villages close to national parks. Seasonal foreign tourism was the foundation of the businesses of towns like Bar Harbor, Maine, and Moab, Utah. During what was once the busiest time of year, their restaurants and hotels are now half empty. Once teeming with foreign visitors and guided tour buses, national parks are currently seeing a decline in foreign visitors. Sharp decreases have been documented in the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Yellowstone. This impacts local company viability as well as park revenue. Nature tour firms, hiking guides, and outfitters are struggling to survive. Tourism served as the cornerstone of many communities, not only a source of income. Towns are experiencing halted growth, lost jobs, and lower tax revenue as a result of fewer tourists. Despite their resilience, many of these locations would not make it through another poor season without assistance and solutions. Travel warnings, global perception, and policy failures. America's reputation overseas has drastically changed. The United States, which was formerly seen as a dream vacation, is now more often depicted as chaotic, dangerous, and unpredictable. Travel advisories from nations including as Canada, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand now warn of racial tensions, political protests, and gun violence in key U.S. cities. Social media has a significant impact on how people see things. Videos of angry interactions, airport delays, or tourist frauds spread swiftly and become ingrained in the public consciousness. These experiences are shared by travelers throughout the world, and they have an impact on other people's travel decisions. The United States isn't doing anything to combat the growing perception that America isn't safe. In the meantime, the list of policy failures keeps growing. Consulates continue to have a shortage of personnel. The entry process is sluggish and erratic. Additionally, government tourism promotion initiatives lack adequate funding. For foreign passengers, the combination of these problems creates a perfect storm of uncertainty and delays. U.S. loses billions as international tourists disappear. America's tourist disaster is costing the country a startling amount of money. The nation has wasted more than $350 billion in potential foreign tourism earnings since 2020. Across the nation, the money would have gone to local governments, hotels, restaurants, museums, and airlines. Rather, it is being spent in South America, Asia, and Europe. This is about lost momentum, not simply lost money. Jobs are created, small companies are supported, and infrastructure projects are financed in part by tourism. Without it, communities are reducing spending, firing employees, and delaying plans for growth. It's a slow, steady decline with loud repercussions. The worst thing? A national strategy to buck the trend is still lacking. The United States may experience a long-term decline that will harm its economy and reputation for years to come if it lacks leadership, innovation, and genuine investment. Can America recover? Recovery is feasible, but only if the United States takes prompt action. A variety of realistic and ambitious alternatives are being put up by experts and business leaders, including modernizing the visa application process, funding global advertising campaigns, and developing fast entry mechanisms for reliable visitors from important countries. States such as California, Florida, and New York are beginning to invest in international marketing efforts that highlight safety, affordability, and distinctive experiences. Special discounts are being offered to foreign visitors by some airline companies and accommodation chains. However, these initiatives require urgent federal backing. America continues to offer opportunities, culture, and world-class sites. That won't matter, though, unless tourists from other countries feel welcome. The United States must communicate to the globe that it is secure, open, and welcomes you. The recovery would be sluggish and unpredictable until then. The United States once led the world in global tourism, but in 2025 it's losing that position not because of one mistake, but because of many missed chances. Tourists have found alternatives, and they're not coming back without a reason. America has the tools, the talent, and the places people want to see. What it needs now is the will to fix what's broken and to once again open its doors to the world.